Time for a tome! Hello everybody, E here. Welcome back to another book review. Why didn't y'all tell me how good this book was? This is the NIX by Nathan Hill. And the only reason I read it is because the audiobook has been sitting in my Audible account since it was released. And I couldn't remember why I have that and 2 copies of this novel. Both first editions. I'm pretty sure that I got one of them I bought brand new. I'm pretty sure the second one came from secondhand or library sale or maybe a bag sale, something like that. Hi Pierce, how you doing? But this book's absolutely phenomenal. But I Googled it, and then I remembered as soon as I saw the very first, it was the highest book advance for a debut author ever. $1 million. This dude back here, this cracker, this dude right here, he got $1 million advance for this. And as far as I could find, he only has one other book in the past decade, and that is Wellness. I will be reading that very, very soon. If you guys like Ohio or The Deluge by Stephen Markley, you are going to absolutely fuck with this. This is an amazing story, and I'm going to tell you more about this than I normally do, because just reading the back cover copy is not going to do it for you. This story is about a dude named Samuel. Samuel, a little backstory about him, he had a mother who just upped and disappeared one day, just packed up all of her stuff and just vanished. There's a little more to it, but that's as far as I'm going to go with the mom for right now. He grows up to be a college professor and a writer. The writer part is kind of wishy-washy because he got a big advance, just like Hill did, which is funny. He got a big advance for a book that he had not yet written. And I'm wondering if that's the story with this one. But yeah, anyways, so one day someone shows up and says, hey, look, we want our money back. We want our advance back, and we're going to cancel your contract because you still haven't delivered anything. We don't even think you're writing the damn book, and he hadn't been. So he's like, well, crap, what am I going to do? Fast forward to finding out that his mother, the mother that disappeared, supposedly threw a handful of gravel at a Republican senator or presidential candidate. I still can't. That was the one thing I was I think he was the presidential candidate, but I don't think so. Yeah, anyways. They called it an assassination attempt. And the story goes on from there because Nathan calls his agent up and he's like, or the representative from the publishing company, and says, hey, look, instead of that book that you want me to pay you back for, how about I write a tell-all about my mother? Because this thing happened. No, it's actually the opposite. The agent or whoever it is goes to him. Sorry, I read this in September. It is now the end of October. I apologize. I'm forgetting some details. But needless to say, he starts writing. He is rehired, not paid any more money, but he is tasked with writing about his mother. He thinks it's going to be easy because in his head, she's a villain. She's a terrible mother, ran out on him. And then everything else that comes after that is absolutely amazing. It is intriguing. It is hilarious. One of the funniest books I've ever read. It's got political satire. It has satire of damn near everybody, and that's what I like about this one. Just like I like about Stephen Markley, especially in The Deluge, he had something bad to say about Democrats, liberals and Democrats, conservatives and Republicans, libertarians, and I don't know what else you call them. Every single person catches these hands, if you know what I mean. And he is very... The satire is on point. The layers of this story and the novel, if you are read up at all about political history, you're going to find this absolutely 100% hilarious and unputdownable. I listened to this book in 2 sittings. This is a 21-hour production. I listened to it in 2 sittings. I actually had to not go to work one day because I spent all night listening to it at 1.5 speed, 16 hours in the first sitting. It wasn't, of course, 16 hours, but I know math good, so I'm not going to tell you how long it actually was. But it was over 12 hours. I remember that much. And then I finished the rest of it last night. Sorry, not last night. This is back September. Anyways, it doesn't matter when it was. But this one, the story, man, it goes to some wild places. It doesn't just stay in America, even though the stuff that I'm talking about happens at the end of it. I'm trying to think of all the stuff that I want to talk about that's not a spoiler, and there's so little. I really want you guys to read it. The audiobook, absolutely fantastic. So if I don't really recommend. I think what happened the first time that I tried to read this is I tried to read the text and I ended up getting bored for whatever reason. But it couldn't have been much more than the first, chapter prologue kind of deal. It couldn't have been much more than that, because the funny parts start up right after that. But then again, I have changed so much in the stuff that I enjoy to read, that this is now, ever since Stephen Markley's Ohio, I've kind of been down with this kind of modern literature kind of thing. I'm talking about Tiffany McDaniel. I'm talking about Stephen Markley, Nathan Hill, some Paul Auster. I think Paul Auster was doing it well before anyone else. I'm not sure. It's a very specific type of novel. Not so much Philip Roth, not so much Saul Bellow. Not that. It's like the modern version of those guys. But anyways, Ponage. There is a subplot here with a character named Ponage, and Ponage plays World of Elfscape. Yes, just like World of Warcraft, EverQuest, RuneScape, all that stuff kind of mashed up. So it's World of Elfscape. Ponage is a character that the main character plays with. This is a dude who has 5 different computers, 5 separate main accounts, one for each computer, and he goes on raids, and he is just like, Leroy Jenkins! He is a legend in this community. Okay? He was my favorite character in the entire thing. I am a huge fan of supporting characters that are better than the main character. And what I mean by that is he was far more interesting than Samuel, the main character here. I liked Faye, alright, but my favorite character, I even liked Lorn and Bethany and Bishop. Bishop's story was so sad. The twins, Bethany and Bishop. Bishop's story just absolutely broke my heart. But as far as overall character arc, Ponage. What I love about Ponage so much is that you don't expect him to be a major character. You don't expect to cry for this character. He is a troll living in a basement, playing video games. Literally every single penny that he has goes into this game. He's just, but he's not really a nerd. He's the kind of guy that would pick on nerds, you know? So he's not that good of a dude. But I understood him. I understood everything about him because I have been him. And that's what I really want to make this review about. Ponage went down much the same path that I went down when I was younger. I thought that being an asshole was the way to go because it kept the right ones close and the wrong ones at bay. You know, if you're an asshole and people love you, they see you for who you truly are. I had a very disturbed mentality as far as this is concerned. But every single ounce of success I've ever had in any career I've done was being an asshole. And I hate that. I really, really do. Ponage here is an asshole. He's a prideful asshole. The game doesn't matter. The game never mattered. How he treated people mattered. And I think that was an important message. That he's an avid gamer. He blew a lot of money on games for it to go absolutely nowhere. Went into crazy debt. Some of y'all out there nodding your head because you know what I went through. And then come to find out that he had a DVT in his leg and a bunch of other issues that you find out at the end. It's just, I felt like I was reading about myself, right? And if I hadn't like decided to change recently, if I hadn't decided, you know what, I am responsible for me and only me. Well, I'm responsible for my kids and all that. What I'm saying is I'm responsible for my attitude and only my attitude. I cannot control anything else. In fact, I was just telling one of my kids that today, you can only control yourself. You can't control anything else in this life, and sometimes you can't even control what happens to you. But you control your outlook on life. But the main message here is assholes attract assholes. Drama attract people that like drama. Shitty people attract shitty people. It's just the way it is. So I'm glad that I have rebooted this channel. I'm glad that so many people that I kind of had to pretend to like are gone. I am happy. I'm so much happier now. And this book, like I said, I saw a lot of ponage in myself. I'm not going to tell you if he course corrects by the end or any of that stuff. I already said too much about the DBT. But yeah, no matter what you think is the outcome of that, you're wrong. So, because I was wrong, I was like, damn, that actually happened. But yeah, anyways. So, this one of those stories, it's very, very special to me. And I'm under no illusion that you guys are going to go and pick this, 650-page book up and read it based on what I say. But if you are in the mood for something, if you have read and enjoyed Stephen Markley, I think it would behoove you to pick this one up and to get into it and see if it works for you like it worked for me. Because there are so many other better characters, flawed characters. Every single character in here is flawed. It seems like everybody has a secret past. Everybody has a secret. But it doesn't feel like a thriller in that nonsensical way. It doesn't feel like, there's a twist every 3 seconds. It is very much a piece of literary fiction. Get that in your head right now. There's not a whole lot that happens in here, but it is hilarious. I heard somebody say that this is very Jonathan Franzen. I have not read, even though I own all of his books up here. That's what all Jonathan Franzen up there. I own all of his books in first editions because I always find them in thrift stores, and I've heard nothing but good things. Well, good things about his work, not so good things about him as a person. But I haven't read Jonathan Franzen, so I can't say whether or not this is very Jonathan Franzen or not. But yeah, it's something that I recommend you read if you like long, I don't want to call it droning or boring, but if you like long character and thematic pieces, if you like following a character from like one tragedy to the next, not so much as A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. It's not that bad, but it does go to some pretty dark places at times, especially Bishop's storyline. I loved Bishop. I loved Bishop and Samuel's relationship. I also liked Samuel's relationship with Bishop's twin sister Bethany. I liked all that stuff, and I liked all the stuff that happened at the end. I love the Faye character, but the more I'm thinking about it, and you guys know how I do with these reviews, literally I'm telling you, trying to tell you the things that stick out the most for me that I didn't write down. And that main thing is, this seems like a novel about miscommunication and how you can never truly know what another person is going through. Because a lot of stuff comes out, his mother supposedly arrested for prostitution. All these things come out of the woodwork, and there is a reasonable explanation for all of it. And I was impressed at how well he did that. It's like, somebody coming up, you hear all these rumors about somebody and how terrible, awful, or even how good they are. Nil game. You hear how good they are, how philanthropic they are, how they're all about people, and then come to find out that they're touchy hands McGee, I hate when that happens, but it just goes to show you never truly know someone, especially not people that reach celebrity status. Like, we only know what they want us to see. You only know what I want to tell you. That kind of thing. Anywho. But if you like stories with that as the theme, going down that rabbit hole of finding out that things are not always what they seem, and you can never truly know someone, what's going on in their head, that kind of thing. But I think most is like a lack of communication and miscommunication seem to be the overall theme. So is it any wonder that the book is as political as it is? Because all politics is miscommunication and misdirection. Anyways, have you read The NIX by Nathan Hill? If you have, let me know what you thought of it down there in the doobly-doo. Please, no spoilers. If you do want to talk to me about the book with spoilers, just put spoilers, enter down a couple, at least 5 times, and then put the spoiler in there. That way that YouTube will only show the spoiler warning. So type spoiler warning, enter, and then start typing, and it shouldn't come up. If you don't do it that way, I will delete your comment. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just I don't want to spoil it for anybody else. But yeah, let me know what you thought of the book down in the doobly-doo. And especially if you've read Wellness, his newest one, if you've read that, let me know what you thought about that one. Depending on, I tend to only trust my friends when it comes to reviews. So if you don't consider me a friend, I don't want to say F off, but yeah, probably not going to listen, no way. But anyways, until next time, I have been E, you have been you. This has been another book review. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye!